Meanwhile, Amnesty International Nigeria wants the federal government to unconditionally release prisoners of conscience Omoyele Sowore, Olawale, Bakare and Agba Jalingo. Speaking at the Amnesty International Nigeria Human Rights Festival, Country Director Osai Ojiho says although Nigeria has been able to put laws in place to protect the rights of its citizens, the problem the country is facing now is implementation of its laws. Mrs. Ojiho stressed that the continuous disregard of the rule of law and the government choosing which court orders to obey puts the country in a bad light. The body wants a thorough investigation into the violation by various security services and the stoppage of the social media bill, hate speech bill, and any other bill that will violate the rights of Nigerians.
The anti-torture law, we've also had the Disability Rights Act passed, but in implementation is the challenge. So it's not enough for you to make laws, it's not enough for you to announce nice policies. People who are experiencing it want to enjoy those rights. And so the implementation would actually rate Nigeria quite low because people are not able to access the justice system. Even when they do and court orders are issued, they are not respected in totality.
We must consciously and deliberately live up to that UDHR that we are signatory to. And having our constitution as the ground norm, it is important for us to also live up to it. If we have rights where young girls can still not go to school, they can't have access to education. Access to education is guaranteed in Chapter 2 of the Constitution.
Well, joining us from Abuja now is Osai Ojiho, Country Director, Amnesty International. It's good to have you join us on TVC News at 7. Yesterday was the International Human Rights Day, and there are those of the school of thought that Nigeria has no moral justification to actually participate in that celebration, especially looking at some cases that are prevalent at the moment. What is your position on that?
Thank you very much for having me. I think we should celebrate Human Rights Day regardless of the situation that we have faced in the country, because we need to constantly remind the government that we have human rights. They must be respected. They must be fulfilled in our lives and in the lives of people in our community. And despite the challenges we're having today, we recognize that a lot of people have been fighting for these rights that we are now enjoying. And so it's important that we all come together to remind us of that and to join forces to ensure that those who want to repress or prevent people from enjoying these rights are stopped and they are not allowed to win.
All right, and speaking at the Amnesty International Nigeria Human Rights Festival, you made a call for the release of certain individuals who are currently being held, Omoyele Sowore, Bakare, Agba, Jalingo. And what is the basis for this? Because there are certain allegations against these people.
Well, under the law, everyone has their time in court, and the Constitution provides for fair trial. So even when someone is accused of committing an offense, you have to follow due process. And in this case, the charge was laid out, bail was granted. The two persons involved, Sowore and Bakare, are committed to appearing in court to answer the charges against them, even though based on the circumstances of their arrest, those charges were made up in order to keep them longer and in order to suppress and intimidate them. The only offense they've committed, if any at all, is expressing their opinion, which is also a constitutionally protected right. So the court has given an order they should be given granted bail. They were granted bail, and then using a tactic, backhand tactic, they've been rearrested again under the allegation that there are some new charges. They've been in detention for over 100 days. During that time, was there not enough sufficient time for the authorities to build up their case against them? It seems that this is an attempt to further violate their rights to liberty as well. And this is a dangerous precedent which should not be allowed to stand. And that is why we call for the unconditional release, because they are prisoners of conscience. So it's not the charges that they have been laid out against them that is the issue, but really the bottom line is to stop them from speaking and to prevent other people from speaking if they look at the way in which their case is currently being handled.
All right, and there was also a mention about the social media bill, hate speech bill, and such policies that are being sponsored at this moment. What is your position on those bills that we're hearing about?
We say no to the social media bill and no to any hate speech bill in any shape or form. These are all attempts at trying to control information and control the internet, which happens to now provide a platform that anyone can access and be heard on. And so it's almost like as if the remaining free access that individuals have is going to be taken away from them, because there are certain people that don't want to hear people complaining or hear people share opinions which they consider offensive or different or dissenting to theirs. And we cannot allow this to happen, because when you're in a position of power, you're supposed to help people. You're not supposed to further repress them and prevent them from expressing their views.
Okay, we might just have to leave it here. Osai Ojiho is Country Director, Amnesty International. Thank you for joining us.